Happy Sunday, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the 3 a.m. Knitter podcast, episode number 8. Welcome. If this is your first time here, a very warm welcome to you. And if you are coming back to see me again, hello there. How are you? I am just so excited for this episode because I get to give away some things to you in celebration of reaching the 1,000 subscriber level on my YouTube channel. I've got a few little gifties to give away. And we'll talk about those closer to the end of the podcast, and I'll let you know how you can get yourself in the running for one of those gifts. So let's do some housekeeping as always before we get rolling. You can find me on Instagram as the 3 a.m. Knitter. If you need to email me, you can find me at 3amknitter@gmail.com. Down below in the show notes, you'll find my snail mail for Canada Post, things like that. And also, I mentioned this an episode or two ago, but I wanted to kind of delve into it a little bit more today. I have launched a Patreon page where, if you are so called to do so, you can support me and the podcast. So there are 3 levels over on Patreon. The first level is called, the cast on level. And that particular level gives you early access to my monthly newsletter that is launching. The newsletter gives you first crack at pattern releases and things like that. Free registration to the 3 a.m. Knitter Quarterly Book Club, which I am also launching next month, and a virtual knit night where we will get together and knit. The second level is the garter stitch level. That has all of the things that we just talked about, periodic surprises in your mailbox, 25% off discount code for all of my upcoming knitting patterns, and a 10% off discount code for the fall 2023 virtual knitting retreat. More about that later. And then the third level is the color work level, and it includes all of this stuff that we just talked about, but it also includes higher discounts. So 50% off upcoming patterns, 25% off the upcoming fall virtual retreat. This color work tier, knit and sip night, separate from the virtual knit night. And also it includes a Nova Scotia themed crafter's gift box, which is sent out once per year on the 1-year anniversary of you supporting the podcast. So if you want more information about that, pop on over to Patreon. The link, of course, is down below. And if you have any questions, let me know. All right, so that's it for housekeeping. So what am I wearing? Well, I had all of these great plans to be wearing my new top that I'm going to talk about in Finished Objects. Alas, it's too wet still to wear. So I only just cast off this morning and it was blocking, and of course it's too wet to wear. So instead I'm wearing my lovely eyelet pop top, which is of course designed by Andrea from my local yarn shop, Natural Ewe Yarns. I've talked about this before in the podcast. This is a great pattern. You may recall that I used the Patton's worsted, for this in the claret or claret colorway. It shows you how good my French is lately. I'm just looking this up here to pop top. Should have had this ready, sorry about that. So designed by Andrea Rammel of Natural Ewe Yarns. She is the dyer there, so we're going to talk more about her in a minute. It's a paid for pattern, $5.75 Canadian. It comes in 6 sizes, and it's a top that's meant to be worn with 5 to 10 inches of positive ease. So it calls for DK weight yarn. So you can see, it's nice and loose and flowy in the spring, and like today is an amazing day outside, so as soon as I'm done recording, I'm going to be heading outside to get some beautiful fresh air. You can wear it just as I'm wearing it today on its own, or in the cooler weather, of course, you can layer it, which is really what drew me to this piece, because I really like layering pieces. This one is nice and loose on the hips, so I can wear it with, you know, skirts and jeans and leggings and, you know, anything and everything. I'll link to Andrea's pattern here. Now, I've showed you this before, I think, but just to give you a full view, that's Andrea there. And so you can see it, you know, it's a really versatile piece, right? She suggests here that it be knit up in DK, 18 stitches and 23 rows to 10 centimeters or 4 inches. US needle size US 7 or 4.5 millimeter, and the yardages are ranging from 690 to 1150 meters, or 755 to 1258 yards. Again, as I say, 6 sizes, small to 3X. I don't know what else I can tell you about it. I'll put the links down below. You can go and check it out. I would love for you to knit it up and let me know what you think. You know, I knit the pattern I knit this garment exactly to pattern. I didn't make any changes, and it fits perfectly. So the pattern is super easy to follow. I think that you could make this even as a beginning knitter. Yeah, give it a try. I think it's a great pattern, and it's a great piece to add to your wardrobe. So that's what I'm wearing. We'll get to the the top that I planned to wear a little later. So let's talk about works in progress. So you may recall, was it last? I think it was last episode, I talked about Helen Stewart and Curious Handmade, Handmade Sock Society 5. So I participated in previous sock societies, and this is something that her patterns, I love her patterns, all of them. I love them all. I don't think she's ever put out a sock pattern that I didn't want to knit. So as soon as I saw that she was launching Sock Society 5, I jumped right on it. Early bird. It's a series of 6 patterns that get delivered each month. So the first one came out on the 4th, and there we go. No, wrong one. So the first one came out on the 4th. There will be 6 May, June, July, August, September, October, which is great. Come out about the first week of the month. And it's all about, so her write-up about this particular collection is: we live in a world that's bursting at the seams with small mysteries and marvels, glittering crystals and smooth pebbles, fossils and feathers, and the cast-off shells of strange creatures, ancient coins from lost civilizations, handmade trinkets from far-off countries. So she carries on to talk about the patterns are good for whether you're an adventurous new knitter eager to cast on your first sock, or whether you're a passionate sock expert looking for new inspiration. This collection of mystery patterns and our warm community of like-minded makers will nourish your curiosity. Each pattern has been designed to strike a balance between relaxation and interest. This is why I like her patterns. Relaxation and, sorry, I lost my place here. There we go. I've designed each pattern to strike with clear and simple construction and unusual stitches and details. There's always a little bit of everything in the Handmade Sock Society collection: a touch of lace, simple cables, of fun techniques. Whoever you are and whatever your skill level, you are welcome. So I, of course, rushed to cast on when the first sock pattern was released last week. It is called the Shadow Box Socks, and I will just bring up her picture here. So I don't know if you can see kind of the detail there, the little bit of open work, and there's a, so this pattern, there's actually a picture that kind of shows it a little bit better. See that? Isn't that pretty? So not a difficult pattern to work on. I, of course, have cast on. Now I've just got cast on. I don't have very much done except for the ribbing and the first repeat, basically. So I'm going to try and get this so you can, let me just give that a little stretch. See, so there's the open work down there. Yeah, it'll be better next time when I've got these done for our next episode. But of course, I'm knitting them up in this beautiful yarn here from one of my favorite creators. Let's see. So this is a Songbird Yarn and Fibers 80/20 Superwash 80/20 sock, and it is in the brown-headed cowbird colorway. So that is from the Songbird Yarn and Fibers website. Look at that. And actually, let me just go here. There's a picture of the bird that inspired. Look at the blue and the brown. Isn't that awesome? So that's a pretty fair representation right there. The browns and the turquoise. It's got some gray. It's got some like steel blue. Oh, so nice. And it's, yeah, there we go. Knitting up really nicely. So I am knitting these magic loop, which is my preferred method. They are done in fingering, light fingering, 2.25 millimeter needles, or US size 1. They call for 425 meters or 465 yards. So like I say, this is a paid for pattern. You can get the collection, so 6 patterns. The collection is, the early bird is over 18 pounds or 32.13 Canadian dollars. That's still a wildly good price when you consider, you know, 32 divided by 6, right? That's a pretty good price. And honestly, I'm telling you, her patterns are phenomenal. So check them out. I know that, I think last time, Sock Society 4, I think after all the patterns were released and after a certain amount of time, then the patterns were available for single purchase. But I don't think she does that until all the patterns are out. I could be wrong on that, but anyway, still at $32 Canadian for 6 patterns, that's a pretty good value, I think. So if you are interested in socks, you can't go wrong with the Curious Handmade collection. So check that out. So I wanted to come back to a project that I showed you before. And this was one that came out of Whip Mountain. So a number of years ago, I started, what is it called? Nature's Scenery Afghan. And the patterns were released 1 per month, January through December. And you knit them up and then you sewed them all together and you made an Afghan. Well, I made it to June and never carried on. So I pulled out these squares, and you know, it's all very much textured and textures and cables. Oh, can't see that very well, can you? So some trees and some snow there. This one is meant to be some sort of a bird in a nest, in a tree. Then we've got like a spring, kind of a spring one here. The flowers starting to grow in the bottom. And I think I did this out of like fisherman's wool or something like that. I can't remember. A tree with a river. And then my final one here is just a big old tree. So I soaked them and I blocked them just so I could take a look at the patterns. And then I went and I looked at the remaining patterns, and you know, here's the thing. It's just not calling to me anymore. So, but I've got these six blocks. I don't want to do the July through December blocks. So what I thought I would do is I blocked these out so I would get a uniform size. And then I looked in my stash and I came across this orange, and oh, there's no color name. It's just a color number. I hate that. Anyway, this has got very, I don't know if you can see, like very subtle oranges in it as well. And I thought, what if I just knit up, you know when you need those mindless knitting projects, right? What if I just knit up 6 more squares in the same size as those, just in, you know, a stockinette or a garter. I mean, I haven't decided yet. I'll have to swatch it to see what looks best. And then just build the blanket, right? Add some color. I'd have the texture of those, some plain ones. What do you think? Then I could use up this stash, but I don't know. I haven't decided. This also might not be the wisest choice because it's wool. Yeah, that might not be the wisest choice. But anyway, what do you think? Even if I don't use these, what do you think about, I've got some superwash, Cascade 220 superwash over there that it's not the same. It's a darker kind of taupe color, but I could do the same idea just so I have the blanket finished, right? And it's not going to be one that I give away. It's going to be one of those ones that kind of sits on the back of the couch and, you know, you pull it down, or it sits on the lawn chair outside when we're sitting outside in the evenings now that the weather's getting nicer. What do you think about doing just plain squares? Let me know your thoughts, because I'd really like to hear them. So that is kind of my work in my work in progress. There we go. I'm having trouble talking today. I would like to finish the blanket, you know, and at least I can have a mountain win, right? So yeah, let me know. All right, finished objects. So you will recall, of course, because I've talked about it so many times, that my LYS, Natural Ewe Yarns here in Pictou, Nova Scotia, is hosting the Year of Adventurous Knitting. So the Year of Adventurous Knitting is a group on Facebook, which I will, oh darn it, which I will link to. There it is. Ha 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 ha. So if you're on Facebook, you can search the Year of Adventurous Knitting. That's all of their hand dyed right there. Ooh, so nice. And the first project we did was the coffee break shawl. You'll remember that. Where the heck is it? Oh, it must be in the other room. Anyway, coffee break shawl. And then the second project is a top. So I chose the Aster Tee, which is a pattern by Pip and Pin. So this is the website for Pip and Pin. You can see, I've showed you this last time, right? So yeah. So really, really nicely size inclusive pattern. It's meant to be worn with lots of ease. This goes from double XS, double extra small, to 5X. Yeah. It uses one main color, and the pattern calls for one 5 skein set of 20 gram minis. I used 6 colors. You can really kind of mix and match. It's meant to be worn with 1 to 4 inches of positive ease. And in this particular picture array, model is wearing size medium with 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch of positive, oh, the pictures don't get better, positive ease. So I completed mine this morning. I used Natural Ewe Yarns, my local yarn store. They're pure and simple fingering. It's 100% untreated merino. This is the Morning Fog colorway. Let's try to, that's a little too gray. Yeah, it doesn't really show it perfectly. And then I had a huge bag of minis. They were unlabeled, so I don't know exactly what they are. Excuse me. So here is my finished Aster Tee. Now it's still wet. Now I did make a couple of modifications to this. That's the back. So you can see the aster stitches there, aster flower stitches. Now remember, I was going to use purple, but when I knit up this stockinette, you can see this Morning Fog has a bit of color change in it, right? Isn't that beautiful? And so I just didn't think that the purple would be appropriate, so I changed to the more earthy greens. So the modifications that I made are on the sleeves. I wanted this to have very, very little sleeve. I wanted it to be more of a tank top. So when I picked up for the sleeves, as it were, I only did, the pattern calls for short rows and things like that. I only did 5 rows of stockinette, and then I did the twisted rib bind off, or twisted rib edging here, and then I did the very stretchy cast off. So my preference, it's incredibly light. This fabric is like, it's loosey-goosey. I can't wait to wear it. I will wear it. Oh, look at the way the color and that looked like an E there. Cool. Anyway, so you can see how light this is. You can see this, you can see the light through it. So I'm really looking forward to being able to wear this. I will post pictures on my Instagram, and I will wear it next podcast so you can see it on. So I'm super, super happy with this finish. You guys are the first to know. I haven't even posted it anywhere yet. So just to recap, this is a paid for pattern. It's $8 US or $11.29 Canadian. It was released in March of 2022. It's a fingering weight top. Again, Pip and Pin is the creator and the designer Megan Nodecker. Sweet little short sleeve shirt, perfect for spring and summer. The aster flower stitches, which were super fun to knit, that decorate the yoke, a fun detail, and is the perfect place to showcase some of your favorite mini skeins. 3.5 and 4 millimeter needles, or US 4, US 5. Circular or DPNs. The gauge is just, a typical fingering weight gauge, 24 stitches and 32 rounds to 4 inches or 10 centimeters in stockinette worked in the round. Now, because I made a little bit of modification, do I have the pattern here? Oh, yes, I do. I housed it in my Be By Design bag, one of my favorites. Bridget is a brilliant bag maker. Look at this. It's got that beautiful yarn ball fabric with cork bottom, cork handles, her excellent, excellent craftsmanship. This bag has a snap at the top. It's got a pocket with a metal zipper on the inside. It's a gorgeous bag. So I knitted there we go. I knitted the size XL. The XL size called for 853 meters in the main color, 933 yards, or 269 grams. Now, I modified only slightly though, and I used 198 grams. So almost 800 meters. Yeah. I don't know. Might be. I mean, my gauge was bang on. Could have something to do with the aster flower portion. That some of the minis that I used, some of them were really high twist and some of them weren't. So I don't know if that kind of made a difference. Anyway. Yeah. So it was a great, great pattern to make. Now that I've made it and I know where it's going to sit on me after I've blocked it, I might put a little bit of extra length in the body next time I knit this up. I also might do this with a long sleeve. Yeah. Haven't decided yet, but we'll see. It's a great pattern. I encourage you to give it a try if you're so called to trying out that new stitch. I super enjoyed it. So you can buy the pattern on Ravelry, or you can buy it on the Pip and Pin website. If you join up for their newsletter, you get a little bit of a discount as a thank you. So try it out. So I'm super happy to have that finished. I think I might have been a day or two late for the cowl, but you know what? It's done and I'm happy. So that is my finished object. Very, very, very happy with it. Look at those greens though, right? Aren't they fun? I am just so happy with it. Can't wait to wear it. And I have this awesome pair of kind of fern green leggings. Ooh, that's gonna be awesome. Loving it. Loving, loving, loving it. Okay, so that's it for my finished object. So what's next? All right. So as you know, I have a sock pattern called the Open My Heart Socks that has been in testing. Don't know can't remember if I showed this to you. I'm pretty sure I did. So regular cuff down construction, heel flap and gusset. It has open work. I'm just gonna kind of twist it here. I'm gonna show you some other pictures that are gonna be a little bit better here, because this just, let's just take it off, this silly blocker. All right, so the front has 2 open work hearts. The back has 1 that comes in just above the heel. Totally customizable, right? You can either do the 2 on the front and none on the back, or 1 on the front, and I wouldn't recommend 2 on the back, but none on the back. So this particular sample that I knit up as I was working through the writing up of the pattern is just Croy sock. So it's a workhorse sock. But my amazing test knitters Oh my goodness, you will just not believe. So I'm just bringing up Instagram here to show you some of these test knits. So look at that one. Oh, that is my stitch knit quilt. So little time. Yeah. Like, so there's a better picture of the open work on hers. Oh, so gorgeous. And then I love these ones too. Faith, this is Faith's socks. She did them, whoops, in a beautiful red. So pretty. Alrighty. Then we've got When to Craft. Yeah. These are adorable. Look at the little toe there. So, so cute. So there's no back motif you can see on this pair. So just the two hearts in the front, but that toe is just adorable. These are another pair, Bondi Knit and Quilt. Look at that. Nice white or cream color. What else do we got here? Oh, yeah. Connie. Oh, aren't they adorable? My test knitters are just amazing. Just gorgeous. Oh yeah, there we go. That's one too. Whoops. First sock. Oh, here's the other pair. Yeah, Pokey's Palace. So you can see the front of the sock here with the two, and then she did do the back motif there. Oh, my test knitters are amazing. So now that all the test knits are done and back, I'm just finessing the pattern, and it will be out for purchase very soon. I anticipate in the next week or so. So what I wanted to tell you guys is that part of the giveaway will include one of those patterns, but also I will put a discount code just for you as my subscribers in the show notes as soon as it releases. So I anticipate you'll see that on the next episode, so in 2 weeks. But I am just so thrilled to get this out and available to you because it was such a fun pattern to design. I know that you're gonna love it. So watch for that. Maybe you'll win a copy, who knows? And if you do, great. And if you don't, buy a copy. All right. So sorry, I'm just looking. Oh yes. Okay. So the other exciting news is I'm just in the process of writing up another pattern, another sock pattern. I am obsessed with this book, Japanese Knitting Stitch Bible. I am obsessed, absolutely obsessed. So my next sock pattern is being worked on. I'm testing. I'm testing myself, doing all the writing, and it will be available as a test knit. I'm going to say at the end of the month. I know that I previously said the beginning of this month, but yeah, that didn't happen. So maybe the end of the month, we'll see. But just to give you a sneak peek, and we incorporate some of those designs in there. Just a little sneak peek for you. So that's coming soon as well. So watch for that. I will let you know how it goes. So if you're interested in test knitting for me, let me know. You can email me down below. You can DM me on Instagram. This next sock pattern, it's going to be suitable for, I would say, an adventurous beginner. It's not suitable for a beginner knitter, adventurous beginner and beyond. So it will be top-down construction. It will have a heel flap and gusset. That is my preferred sock method. I knit magic loop, but you can knit DPN if that's your preference. And it will be incorporating some common stitches, but you do need to know how to knit a little bit better than just stockinette. So stay tuned for that. All right. So as you will, I'm sure, remember, April 28th was Support Your Local Yarn Store Day. And I, of course, had to support my local yarn store, even though I kind of promised myself that I would be only knitting from stash. You have to support your local yarn store. And Natural Ewe Yarns is 4 doors down from my house. So how could I not support it? So I headed over there and visited for a bit, and yeah. So Andrea is such a brilliant dyer. The business is called Natural Ewe Yarns for a reason. She dyes all naturally. She grows many of the plants that she uses in her dyes, and her yarn is gorgeous. So check this out. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that something? So this right here is Gots to Have It, which is Global Organic Textile Standard Merino. 115 grams approximately, 420 yards. Cosmo is the colorway. No, that's a bit better. And this beauty, look at the pops of red. So this beauty is again Gots, right? Merino, 385 meters. And this is from Andrea's new launch, the new colorway launch, the Boreal Forest collection. And this is in the colorway Caribou. But I just thought, look at that. That's a bit better on the red. Yeah. Do I know what I'm gonna make with these yet? Nope. But I just thought they were so beautiful. Oh, yeah. So anyway, stay tuned. Now that I've finished that Aster Tee knit along, I don't know what's coming up next in the year of adventurous knitting. I wonder if I can use these for whatever's coming up next. I don't know, so I'll wait and see. So I'm gonna hold off from casting on anything with these, but I'm very excited that this is like, it's like caramel with the beautiful red in it. Like, oh, it's just so gorgeous. I wish that you could see these in person. Oh, I forgot to mention. All right. Can I just back up a little bit? So for my what's next ideas, where the heck is it? There it is. So now that, today the weather is so beautiful, I was out for a walk this morning, and it's just, spring is in the air, right? And so spring is in the air, I start thinking about summer tops and stuff like that. And I found in my stash this. Look at the sparkle in that. So this is 3 skeins of Cascade Yarns Sunseekers. It is cotton acrylic metallic. So 47% cotton, 48% acrylic, 5% metallic, 217 meters per skein, 237 yards. So I have about 650 meters. You can wash it, you can dry it. 100 grams, 3.5 ounces each, 22 to 24 stitches per 4 inches, and the recommended needle size is 3.5 to 3.75, or US 4 to 5. And it's in the melon colorway. What do you think of that? So who's got ideas of what summer top I can make out of 600 or so meters? I bought this a long time ago at a store in Windsor, Ontario called Knit One Sew Two. And it was half a knitting shop and half a quilting shop. And yeah, it was a great little store. I loved it. But I'm kind of, I've been watching the grocery girls talk about sparkle and sequins and stuff. And I've been listening quietly to that. But this has come along in my stash, and I thought, this is the perfect time for me to use this, because anytime now they're going to open up the wharf down in my town. It's closed off in the winter. You can't sit on the dock or anything like that. But in the spring they open it up, and there are chairs down there, and people go fish, and there are kiosks that you can buy snacks and things like that. And I thought, what a perfect place to go down, sit by the water and knit, right? So if you've got some ideas for me of what I can use this yarn for, I would love to hear them. Again, if I can use a lot of it, like 600 some odd meters, I'd like to use it up. So sorry, had forgotten to mention that. So do please let me know your ideas. Okay, so I wanted to share one of my favorite things again. So of course my LYS favorite thing. Another one of my favorite things is this wee book that I bought at a garage sale. And it is a book called At Knit's End, Meditations for Women Who Knit Too Much. Is there such a thing? And it of course is by Stephanie Pearl-McPhee, the yarn harlot. So of course, I'm sure many, or if not all of you, know who that is. And every once in a while I pick it up and I kind of read. And today the reading is this one from page 209, and it's called To Save Time, Take Time to Check Your Gauge, written by Every Knitting Pattern Ever Written. There are those knitters who believe that gauge is a vital component of knitting. They take time to check it at the beginning of every project, and they have a stack of swatches to prove it. For their diligence, they are rewarded with garments of predictable size and shape. Then there are the rest of us who occasionally take risks with gauge, neglect swatches, and live on the edge. For our lack of diligence, we are credited with inventing the cowl neck sweater. And the meditation is, if I neglect gauge, I will gracefully accept the consequences. Ha. How many of you gauge swatch? Be honest. Do you know, if I am knitting a garment, I gauge swatch. If I'm knitting socks, I don't. If I'm knitting fingerless gloves, I don't. If I'm knitting hats, I don't. If I'm knitting a blanket, I don't. A shawl, I don't. But any type of a garment, I do. Because there is just nothing worse than spending all that time and effort to knit something that you love, only to find that it doesn't fit you when you're done. So, all right. Let's talk about the giveaway. So, as a thank you to all of you for helping me reach 1,000+ subscribers, I'm blown away by that. I put the call out to some of my favorite creators and makers, and I have a couple of things to show you. So, first off, from the lovely, lovely Mable and Rose Handmade, who is a Nova Scotia maker, because you know I am passionate about that. Mable and Rose Handmade is from the Halifax area, and you may recall a few episodes ago, I talked about her beautiful, sorry, I'm just reaching for it here, her beautiful scissor chains. So she has just so generously given this beautiful scissor chain. So what you do with this is you clip it to the inside of your bag, your knitting bag, your project bag, and then there's another clip here at the bottom, or vice versa, that clips to your scissors. So this can hang inside your bag and you never lose your scissors or your stitch markers or something like that. And it's got a, oops, I got it upside down. It's got a gorgeous little pink seahorse on it. Ah, there we go. So that is our first. So it's a scissor or tool keeper chain that you can clip to the inside of your bag. You can find Mable and Rose on Etsy. Oops, where are we? There we are. So her store, of course, is on Etsy. Right, and I've showed you her shop before, where I showed you that necklace that I really liked. Ooh, yeah. Guess what? It's not available anymore because I bought it. So anyway, so that is part of our giveaway. And also we have this adorable set of stitch markers from excuse me, Mable and Rose Handmade. So take a look at these. Yarn over, make one right, make one left, slip slip knit is on there down here. What else do we got? Slip slip knit, a couple of those, knit, and a couple knit two togethers. So these go on up to a maximum needle size of 6 millimeter or 10.55 US, 10.5 US. So little stitch markers, forget-me-not stitch markers, and this adorbs little cloth drawstring bag that you can put them in once you take them off the card, of course. Aren't they just the most adorable thing you've ever seen? Oh, so that is part of our giveaway as well. Then we also have from my LYS, which of course you know is called Natural Ewe Yarns here in Pictou, Nova Scotia. We also have, I'm just going to bring up the website. Bear with me just one sec. Where did you go? There it is. So there's their website, Natural Ewe Yarns. Whoops, I just dropped merino, etc., etc. So check them out. I'll link to them below. But they carry this line of stitch markers from a Pictou, Nova Scotia maker called Stonehouse Designs. So here is a set of stitch markers and a progress keeper on there with sea glass that has been collected. Finely crafted works of art using sea glass, silver, and upcycled materials. And you can find Stonehouse Designs on Facebook. Any day, Facebook. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Stonehouse Designs. So there's her Facebook page right there. Pictou, Nova Scotia maker. Yeah, just lovely work. Like she was set up for a show there. So just beautiful pieces. I encourage you to check out her work as well. And then of course we have from Natural Ewe Yarns this skein of Morning Fog yarn. So this is pure and simple fingering, 100% untreated merino, 400 meters in the Morning Fog colorway. And as you will recall, that is the colorway that I used for this. So this is the Morning Fog right here. So you can see it's a taupey gray. It's got these kind of flecks of yellows and browns within it. It gives you that beautiful mottled look, right? And so that is part of the giveaway as well. So if you would like to be in the running to win one of these prizes, what I would like you to do is please comment below. In the comments, I'd like you to please include where you're from and what your local yarn store is. Who is your local yarn store? What is the closest local yarn store to you? Now, even better if you can put a link in there. So as my thank you to you, I would like to give away these. So we'll have 4 giveaways and I'll random draw them. But put your comments. Let's hear about your local yarn store. Because when we support our local yarn store, we support each other, don't we? Okay? So I hope that you will enjoy entering, and I look forward to choosing the winners. I'll announce the winners on the next podcast. So stay tuned for that. There's lots of time for you to enter. So let's move into our last little piece today, the Knitter's Oracle. I'll grab my iPad here so we can read all about it. Oops. Okay. Oops. Give a shuffle. Split the deck. And I'll take the top card. Today we have the Ram. Look at that fun guy. The Ram. So let's read about the Ram. The Ram card represents all manifestations of traditional masculine energy. It is strong and powerful and dominant. The Ram is concerned with status, ambition, and taking leadership roles. It can also represent fatherhood or the patriarchy at large. The energies of the Ram and the Ewe work together in all people, regardless of gender. This card may be a call to tap into your stereotypically manly side and take charge of the current situation. I don't know what to do with that. The Ram. This card may be called to tap into your stereotypically manly side. Take charge of the current situation. So the thing that's coming up for me about the Ram. So you know when you're working on a project and you're working away, and somewhere in the back of your mind, you know darn well that this project is not for you. But you keep working because you have that little bit of faith that it's going to work out. Or you're working away on it and you know you didn't gauge swatch, and so it's not going to fit you. But you keep working on it. Or there's an error that you saw 30 rows up, but you keep working on it because you think you can ignore it. Sometimes as a creator, I fool myself into thinking that those things don't matter and I just carry on. But here's what I know. I know that I'll never be okay with the error. I'll never be okay with the fact that it's not going to fit. I'll never be okay with the fact that I just don't like the project. I think that if I perhaps approached it, and I know this is going to sound stereotypical, but that's what this says, from my masculine side or from the man's side, I might just, yeah, it doesn't work, rip it out, right? I think sometimes, I know for me, I attach a great deal of, meaning, a great deal of my heart, a great deal of what I want the receiver of a project to get out of the project. I kind of insert that into the knitting as I'm working through the process. You know, excuse me, I meditate on that knitting. I put essential oils on that knitting that will, you know, give the receiver something about what my process was like creating this for them. I do that a lot in my commission knitting as well. You know, I think about the person that I'm making it for and how they're going to wear the garment and what that's going to mean. And I think maybe that from the more masculine side, those things don't always get included. It's perhaps more about the end product than it is about the creation of it, if that makes sense. So think about this, the RAM. Think about it. Think how that applies to you and your crafting, your knitting, your process. Excellent. That's an interesting one. So that's it for today, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 8. Please get your comments in below. Let me know about your LYS. Put a link in there if you have one. Let's share the love. And next episode number 9, which is coming in a couple of weeks, we will draw for these lovely prizes here. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Take good care and keep knitting. Bye now.